Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of English Rhythm. I'm your host, Sarah, and today we have a very special guest with us. Please welcome Emma, a successful influencer who has made a name for herself in the world of social media. Hi, Emma. Thank you for joining us today.
Hi, Sarah. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here and share a bit about my daily routine.
We're thrilled to have you. So, let's dive right in. Can you tell us what a typical day looks like for you as an influencer?
Absolutely. My days are quite varied, but I'll give you a general idea. I usually start my day around 7 a.m. The first thing I do is check my phone for any urgent messages or emails. After that, I spend about 30 minutes engaging with my followers on social media, replying to comments, and liking posts.
That sounds like a busy start. What do you do next?
After that, I have breakfast and then I usually spend some time planning my content for the day. This involves brainstorming ideas, researching trends, and sometimes scripting out what I want to say in my videos or posts. I try to keep my content fresh and engaging, so this part is really important.
Planning content sounds like a lot of work. How do you stay organized?
I use a content calendar to keep track of everything. It helps me plan out my posts in advance and ensures that I'm consistent with my uploads. I also use various apps to schedule posts and manage my time effectively.
That's a great tip. So, after planning your content, what comes next?
Once I have my content planned, I usually spend a few hours creating it. This could be filming videos, taking photos, or writing blog posts. I try to batch create content, so I'll have a few days worth of material ready to go. This helps me stay ahead and reduce the stress.
Batching content sounds like a smart strategy. Do you have a team that helps you with this, or do you do it all yourself?
I do have a small team that helps with editing and some administrative tasks, but I handle most of the creative work myself. I enjoy being hands-on and making sure everything aligns with my vision.
That's impressive. What do you do after creating your content?
After creating content, I usually take a break for lunch and some relaxation. It's important to take care of yourself and avoid burnout. In the afternoon, I focus on editing and scheduling my posts. I also spend some time engaging with my audience again, responding to messages and comments.
Engagement is key, isn't it? How do you balance your personal life with your work as an influencer?
It can be challenging, but I try to set boundaries. I make sure to take weekends off and spend quality time with my family and friends. It's all about finding a balance that works for you.
That's great advice. Speaking of balance, do you have any specific routines or habits that help you stay productive and focused throughout the day?
Yes, definitely. I find that having a morning routine really sets the tone for the rest of the day. After checking my phone and engaging with my followers, I like to do a quick workout or some yoga. It helps me wake up fully and get energized. I also make sure to stay hydrated and take short breaks throughout the day to avoid burnout.
That sounds like a healthy approach. Do you have any favorite tools or apps that you use to manage your work?
Absolutely. I use a variety of tools to stay organized. For content planning, I love using Trello and Google Calendar. For photo editing, I use Lightroom and Visco. And for scheduling posts, I rely on Later and Hootsuite. These tools help streamline my workflow and keep everything on track.
Those are some great recommendations. Now, let's talk a bit about the creative process. How do you come up with new ideas for your content?
Inspiration can come from anywhere, really. I follow a lot of other influencers and brands to see what's trending. I also pay attention to my audience's feedback and what they enjoy the most. Sometimes I'll get ideas from everyday life experiences or even from conversations with friends and family. It's important to stay curious and open-minded.
That's so true. How do you handle creative blocks or moments when you're not feeling inspired?
Creative blocks are inevitable, but I try not to stress too much about them. When I'm feeling stuck, I take a step back and do something different. It could be going for a walk, reading a book, or even just watching a movie. Taking a break helps clear my mind and often leads to new ideas. I also keep a notebook where I jot down random thoughts and ideas, which can be helpful when I'm looking for inspiration.
That's a great strategy. Now, let's talk about the business side of being an influencer. How do you manage collaborations and partnerships with brands?
Managing collaborations is a big part of my job. I receive a lot of partnership requests, so I have to be selective and choose the ones that align with my brand and values. I usually start by researching the brand and their products to make sure they're a good fit. Then I negotiate the terms of the collaboration, including deliverables, timelines, and compensation. Communication is key to ensuring a successful partnership.
It sounds like a lot of work, but also very rewarding. Do you have any advice for influencers who are just starting out and looking to work with brands?
My advice would be to focus on building a strong personal brand first. Brands are more likely to work with influencers who have a clear niche and engaged audience. Be authentic and consistent with your content, and don't be afraid to reach out to brands you love. Start with smaller collaborations and build your way up. Networking with other influencers and attending industry events can also open up opportunities.
That's excellent advice. Before we wrap up, do you have any final tips or words of wisdom for our listeners who are aspiring influencers?
Yes, I'd say the most important thing is to stay true to yourself and your values. The influencer world can be competitive, but there's room for everyone. Focus on creating content that you're passionate about and that resonates with your audience. Be patient and persistent, and don't get discouraged by setbacks. Success takes time, but with dedication and hard work, you'll get there.
Thank you so much, Emma, for sharing your insights and giving us a glimpse into your daily life. It's been a pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you, Sarah. It's been great talking with you and your listeners. I hope my experiences can help others on their journey.
I'm sure they will. And to our listeners, thank you for tuning in to this episode of English Rhythm. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. Until next time, keep practicing your English and stay inspired.